For joining us on a Monday. Our studio is located in downtown Charlottesville, Virginia in the Macklin building. Our audience is Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Commonwealth Country, and worldwide on the I Love CVille Network, a network presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary. The best dispensary in Charlottesville is Skooma Boutique Dispensary with locations on the downtown mall and on Elliewood Avenue right off the UVA corner. Today's show is busy. Late Friday into Saturday, I posted on the I Love CVille Network that Regal Cinemas is in trouble. Folks have not returned to theaters with the same momentum that we saw prior to the pandemic. There's just too much competition, too many options, it's too expensive, and frankly, consumer confidence and safety is not there from everyone's perspective. We'll talk about this question on the show. Regal Cinemas warned last week that bankruptcy is on the near horizon. If Regal starts closing locations, and Stonefield is one of the spots they shutter, what is the impact of Regal closing to the shops of Stonefield? That topic today on the I Love CVille Show. Also on today's program, I have to ask Albemarle County school system why they are not offering COVID leave for teachers. Anyone, raise your hand in the air and ask or answer this question. Why is the Albemarle County Public School System not offering COVID leave for teachers? If a teacher gets COVID, they are no longer allocated certain days to quarantine and recover from COVID. Instead, they have to erode their traditional sick time and or their vacation days. If you get COVID and you're deep in the school year and you've already used vacation and sick days and you don't have any left and you have COVID, what are you going to do if you're a teacher that's already living on the financial margin? Are you going to quarantine or are you going to go to school? That's a question that needs to be asked. Here's another question I got to ask you. Albemarle County is struggling with maintaining teachers. We all know this, right? They're struggling with maintaining teachers. Why are you limiting the COVID sick leave? Can you check the I Love CVille Facebook page and see why we're not streaming there, please? And confirm all the pages, in fact. If we're losing teachers, why are we taking away important perceived benefits? Why are we taking away perks, or heck, that's not even a perk. COVID sick leave is not even a perk. It's not even a benefit. It's the right thing to do. This is what you're asking of your teachers. Go into a classroom that's poorly ventilated, into a classroom that's more overcrowded than ever before because there's less teachers than before, and teach kids that aren't your blood. Teach kids that may not know the meaning of leave some room for the Holy Spirit between us. Kids that are up in your business. It's already challenging enough because of what you're paying them, what you're expecting of them, to retain teachers at the public school level. Why would you take away this COVID sick leave when you're losing teachers and students from the public schools? Mom and dads, I got this question for you, mom and dads. Mom and dads, you just found out through this Fine and Fair talk show that the Albemarle County Public School System last year was offering leave for teachers with COVID, and this year is no longer offering leave for teachers with COVID. They're forcing the teachers to use their vacation time and or their traditional sick days if they get COVID. How do you feel about this, moms and dads? How do you feel about this? You're starting the school year, Albemarle County, as we speak. You're seeing enrollment is dropping. You're seeing school buses aren't getting kids to schools because there's not enough drivers. You're seeing teachers are dropping left and right. Have you heard of the after-school program difficulties for public schools? There are now waiting lists, and it's very selective to get into after-school programs. That might be even a bigger deal than the school bus issue. Parents that are working that relied on after-school programs, those programs now, because of human resource personnel limitations, we don't have enough people working. The after-school programs aren't as robust, or they've been evaporated or disappeared altogether. Moms and dads, no more sick leave for teachers with COVID. Moms and dads, after-school programming is limited. Moms and dads, teacher turnout has dropped. Student turnout enrollment has dropped. School bus drivers, you can't hire them. What is going on? Does that start at the school board level? Is that the superintendent or the school board that should be held accountable there? And what role do the board of supervisors play? The people allocating the money to the schools. I understand the school board is in charge with determining the vision of schools in Albemarle County. And I know school boards are structured that way on purpose. But when does the board of supervisors say, hey, I'm writing the check from Albemarle County taxpayers to the schools, and I want a little more say on what's going on here? Because right now I see the kids not coming to school. I see the teachers not teaching in school. The school bus drivers not driving school buses to and from school. The after-school program has been disappeared, eradicated, or significantly limited. And now you're telling your teachers, your most important commodity in a public school, that we're not going to give you the COVID sick leave anymore. You're going to have to burn your vacation time or your actual sick days if you get COVID. What the hell? We'll talk about that on today's show. This is all happening, viewers and listeners of this fine and fair talk show. This is all happening as states across the country are approving a private school voucher program, and as delegates in the Commonwealth of Virginia are saying, we're bringing the voucher program to the Commonwealth. Giddy up and get ready. Arizona just greenlit $6,500. You heard me correctly. $6,500 per year per kid for private schools, homeschooling, micro schools, tutoring, or any other kind of educational service that meets the needs of their students outside the traditional public school system. This private school voucher program is gaining momentum left and right. Left and right. And I can assure you, will be one of the hot topics of midterm elections. Look at what you're doing. At a time where public schools are more vulnerable than ever, at a time where a voucher program is very, very real in the Commonwealth, you're basically saying to teachers, we're going to give you less this year than last year. No wonder they're pissed. Another business for sale, Brews on High, a Hunter Smith business for sale on High Street. This business has been open for a few months, a couple of months. This business is for sale, and we know it comes on the heels of Champion Grill closing in Stonefield. The second brand in the Champion portfolio to either close or to hit the for sale block. That's a topic that's got to get discussed on today's talk show. And how about Lake Anna in the press? Travel and Leisure just named a sleepy little Virginia vacation community, Lake Anna, the best town to buy a vacation home in all of the Commonwealth. According to Vacay, it's an online vacation home rental company, Vacay, V-A-C-A-S-A. According to Vacay, Lake Anna homeowners can expect to make on average $81,293 per year in rental income, which is equivalent of a 12.2% cap rate. Good Lord, good night. I had no idea, did you? I did not. Vacay, the online vacation home rental company, just named Lake Anna the #1 place to buy a vacation home in all of the United States. Lake Anna. On average, Lake Anna homeowners banking $82K a year. Good Lord. Bill McChenzie, we'll get to your comments. Vanessa Parkhill, we'll get to your comments here on the I Love CVille show. Travis Hackworth, we'll get to your comments. J-Dubs, we got I Love CVille Facebook back up and running.
I think it's a switchboard issue right now.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the two-shot. We'll welcome Wickower to the mix. Where do you want to start? Let's start Regal Cinemas. Movies are effed. Movie theaters are effed. You got entirely too many streaming options.
Yeah, they've all basically screwed each other.
They're releasing the content to the streaming platforms first. Some exceptions. Top Gun Maverick was an exception. Released in theaters before streaming platforms. But dude, your money doesn't go far anymore. Who's going to drop $20 I'll put it in perspective. I relayed this a couple weeks ago. My wife and I took our son to his first movie. We saw Super Pets at the Alamo and 5th Street Station. It was a Sunday afternoon, far from prime time. It was a matinee. The tickets for the three of us were $40. We got a milkshake, a popcorn, and a boozy milkshake. In the theater, we dropped another $40. We had a couple of pizzas and a couple of beers before the show and dropped another $40. It was somewhere between $110 and $120 to go to a matinee with my wife and our 4.5-year-old. Now,
how much were the tickets?
Three tickets were basically $35-$40.
For a matinee?
Yeah. Now,
Wow.
I didn't have to. I will say this. We could have just bought the tickets, right? We didn't have to buy the popcorn, the boozy milkshake,
right,
the non-alcoholic milkshake, the beers, and the pizzas. We could have just bought the tickets and gone to the movie theater, and we could have snuck in some goobers. I think we're having goobers tomorrow on the I Love CVille show with Alex Herpy.
Oh, thank goodness.
But still, $30 to $40 for three people?
I can't believe you paid that much for matinee prices.
I mean, what is it on a Friday? Viewers and listeners, Vanessa, viewers and listeners, Philip, Carol, Grayson, Spencer, Kevin, Higgins. What is the price of a ticket? Are you looking it up? Do a Friday night. Alamo, you do Alamo, I'll do Regal. Okay? I'm looking it up right now. You do Alamo, I'll do Regal. Let's see what the price of a ticket is. I'm going to the Regal Movies website. This is so hard to do during a talk show. Could someone tell me how much a Friday night movie ticket is? Please, I would be very grateful. If you're spending $40 to see one movie, how many streaming services does that cover? $40 to see one movie will cover your Netflix subscription, your ESPN subscription, your Paramount subscription, and your Disney subscription for a month. Right? Who would rather sit on their couch, drink their favorite beer, eat a pizza from a better pizzeria, and watch the movie on their 60-inch flat screen television, a flat screen television that's now $800 or $900 when previously they were thousands and thousands of dollars? People are choosing to stay home. What is the impact that this is going to have on Stonefield? How do you want to start on this topic? Judah Wickower.
I mean, really, I don't know that it's going to have... I don't know that it's going to affect Stonefield all that much. I mean, people aren't going to the movies before hitting up Trader Joe's, or, I think it probably hurts the dessert places the most. And those are the kinds of places that people will, pour out of a movie and head to. Even then, I don't know, because a lot of people will go to like an 8:00 movie. What's open in Stonefield when you get out of that?
I mean, the restaurants are
10 o'clock.
I hope to God on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, the restaurants in Stonefield are open to catch the movie theaters, the movie patrons coming out. Because the track record of success for a lot of these restaurants is not great. And if they're not staying open to catch the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night movie-going crowd leaving the cinema, then they're morons.
Yeah.
Okay?
But have you seen, I mean, I task anyone with going to Stonefield and waiting for a movie to come out. They might not be as foolish as you think to not stay open.
The retail shops aren't open.
Right.
The retail shops aren't open. I'll give you that. But if the restaurants directly across from the movie theater are not trying to capture some late night business, they're crazy. That's bananas.
I would tend to agree, but I mean, you got to think about it in terms of the people working there, and you know, if 30 people come piling out of a movie, and 2 of them come walking by your restaurant and like look in and then walk off, and that's standard. Like, why would you stay open?
Travis Hackworth gave us the movie prices. An adult matinee is $12 a ticket. My wife and I is $24. Child's $11. There's your $35 plus tax. With tax, it's flirting and sniffing with a 40 spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to start by saying this. If Regal closes in Stonefield, I can say this straightforwardly and everyone would agree. That's not good for Stonefield. You give me that, right?
It's definitely not good for it. I definitely agree.
It's not good for it.
Yeah.
Here's the follow-up question. If Regal closes in Stonefield and the leases are predicated on a movie theater being in the shopping center, that's why it's a Class A space and they're charging premium rents. In part, also part of that is Trader Joe's. What does that do to the leases? If you're considering a lease in Stonefield right now, do you pause to figure out what happens to the movie theater first? To give you more negotiation leverage with the landlord? Movie theater closes, landlord has a lot less leverage when it comes to demanding high rents than a movie theater popping. And we'll cut to the chase. Who goes to movies now at the same momentum and clip than before COVID? Maybe you do. Do you?
You go to more movies than I do.
I've only been to Super Pets since COVID in the movie theater.
And
that's the only thing we've seen in the movie theater since COVID is Super Pets.
You didn't see Top Gun?
Nope. Never saw it.
I thought you
saw
saw that. You were
never
like,
saw it. Never saw Top Gun.
You've been pounding away at Top Gun.
Everyone's talking Top Gun. The ticket sales speak for it. Never saw Top Gun. The only thing we've seen in the movie theater since COVID is Super Pets. And that was because our son wanted to see it, and it was his first movie, and it was a milestone experience for us.
It's also because you're not an avid moviegoer.
I don't want to speak for my wife, but we got a California King.
What?
We got a California King, the bed, that is literally the comfort level both of us like, a big television in our bedroom in front of us. We have Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, Paramount. Why would we go? We got a 2-tap kegerator at our house.
I've worked for you for 10 years. There has never been a time when you were an avid moviegoer.
That's fair. That's fair. It's expensive. It's expensive. And things get even more expensive when you have kids. These damn little kids are so expensive, these damn kids. Good Lord, they're expensive, these damn kids.
Can't take them to the movies, can't sell them.
Can't take them to the movies, and you can't monetize them on the black market because you go to the slammer if you do that. They're expensive.
Yeah.
What would replace Regal? We were talking during the pandemic. Literally during the pandemic.
It seems like it's so tied to that. I mean, not to mention the fact that it's sitting on top of the parking garage. Like, how do you gut that, and how do you gut the theater and put something else in there without shutting down that parking area for months,
right?
For years,
right? And someone can someone ask this question or answer this question for me? There was a time, Kevin Yancey, you're watching this program. Bill McKenzie. Okay, Bill McKenzie says this. July 17th, 3 p.m. for 3 adults. The online tickets were $37.25 plus tax to see Elvis. That's a lot of money. 3 p.m., July 17th. He went to go see Elvis in the movie theater. $37.25 plus tax. Matinee.
Does anyone out there know what the cost of tickets was pre-pandemic? I swear it was just as expensive.
Kevin Yancey, here's the question. Bill McChenzie, Vanessa Parkhill, I have this question for you. At its heyday, how many movie theaters did Charlottesville City and Albemarle County support? At the peak, and can you rattle off the movie theater names? At the peak, how many movie theaters did the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County support at once? I almost used a profanity. It was a boatload. Kevin Yancey said 11. Kevin, can you rattle off the names?
11
Bill?
theaters?
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, what?
It's 11. I know. I didn't believe it either, but he rattled off the names. Kevin, can you rattle off the names? Bill, Vanessa, can you rattle off the names? Because remember, you had Vinegar Hill on Market Street.
That was one movie.
It still was at a movie theater that showed a movie.
Yeah.
You had the one by Kmart.
But
he's rattling them off. Someone rattle off all the names in a list, all 11, Charlottesville City and Albemarle County, please. Now we can't even support 3. We can't support 3. Has anyone been to Violet Crown on the downtown mall? Violet Crown is awesome. I got no beef with Violet Crown. It's awesome. Violet Crown is a ghost town. It is a ghost town.
Yeah.
An absolute ghost town. Kevin Yancey says there was one on Greenbrier, University, Barracks Road, Terrace Triple, Vinegar Hill, Downtown Mall. Someone rattle off all the movie theaters. Ridge Drive-In, there was 11 at one time. Now, your television offerings and streaming offerings were a lot less.
They were non-existent.
You had cable. There's cable TV.
That's not the same as streaming.
You had Blockbuster Videos where you can get the VHS on Tuesday, and when mom wasn't looking, you sneak into the adult section to look at the nudies.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah, that's right. That was the library's saying. When you checked out the movies from the library, it said Be Kind, Rewind on it. Be Kind, Rewind was the public library call to action. It was not Blockbuster's call to action. Was Be Kind, Rewind Blockbuster's call to action?
There's a Blockbuster Be Kind Rewind t-shirt. I'm pretty sure it was the Blockbuster.
Okay, I stand corrected. I'll say it was Blockbuster. Good call. We talked about this. You never looked into the nudie section.
I don't even remember if there was one in the Blockbuster.
Every
that I went to.
Blockbuster had a nudie section in the back.
I remember going in. There was a video port in Old Port, Maine, and they had quite a nice adult section.
Okay, do you not want to call it the nudie section? Is it embarrassing for you to call it that?
The nudie? I mean, I just don't think of it as the nudie section.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, well, adult section. Stand corrected. Apologize.
I mean, there's no correction.
Erin King, watching the program. She's phenomenal. The Queen of Scottsville. Erin King, one of Western Albemarle's finest graduates. Rick, her fabulous boyfriend. Rick and I, Erin says, would rather pay $20 to watch a movie in theater. Watch a movie via. What? I don't understand this, Erin. You would rather watch it. You would rather watch it in person or at home? In person or at home? I just out of curiosity, because I respect and love and appreciate your perspective so much. And yes, I do remember the $2 theaters. I do remember the $2 theaters.
At one point, they were dollar theaters.
Vanessa says options back in the 80s were videotapes and HBO and Cinemax.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was back in the 80s.
I remember.
Right?
I remember watching all kinds of stuff on HBO and Cinemax as a kid.
Oh.
Staying up late. I mean,
dude, we didn't have Cinemax as a kid.
Talk about nudie movies.
We didn't have Cinemax as a kid, but it kind of showed the squigglies, when you did get it.
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of showed a little bit of it.
You can squint.
And you were trying to make out.
This
I
is
remember
a great
as a
movie.
10-year-old, and I'm like, I'm going down there. What is that? Is that what I think it is? Is that what you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? Was it the Squigglies? I mean, you called it Skidamax as a kid, didn't you?
I didn't call it that, but
You
I've
didn't call
heard
it Skinamax?
I've heard it called that.
Skinamax.
I mean, when I was watching Cinemax when I was like, it was in the 80s. I mean, I was like 7, 8 years old. It's not like we had Cinemax all the way through my childhood.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that there was no way for me to have heard the term Skinamax back in third grade.
Erin said she'd rather watch it at home. So would we, Erin. $20. This is what she does. $20. She watches whatever she wants at home with her man, and they eat like kings and queens. Right?
I mean, yeah. That's always a great option. I love seeing a good movie in a theater, but I'm also lazy. So I'm in complete agreement with Aaron.
You go to movies though.
Occasionally, yeah, because I mean there are some movies that I just would want to see in the theater.
What would go in Regal if it closes in Stonefield? What is the impact if Regal closes on Stonefield? What do you do if you're a current tenant with your lease and your lease is predicated on a movie theater successfully operating in Stonefield? If it closes, what do you do? If you're considering a space in Stonefield, do you pause and see what shakes out with the movie theater potentially filing for bankruptcy? The future is not bright for the in-theater movie experience.
Well, from what I've read, Regal filing for bankruptcy does not necessarily mean they're closing any chains.
No.
If they did, and I were the owner, I would go chasing after something like AMC or another
chain.
Yeah.
I don't think a small guy can afford that rent.
No, especially not the size of that place. But
it's massive.
If you could get like AMC, then
AlbCo can't afford that rent.
They would have limited, I think, retrofitting to do, keeping that a theater.
And AMC stock is getting hammered right now because its competitor, Regal, is getting hammered right now because they alluded to bankruptcy filing.
Yeah. I mean, I think
what would you do if you owned Regal to try to reinvent the movie experience to get people to come? I mean, I love what Alamo is doing.
You need to make it. You're talking about how expensive it is. You need to make it more affordable. I don't know how you do that. I mean, it's
maybe
the same
what
problem
they
everybody's running into.
Maybe what they do.
Not enough money.
Okay, help me understand this, viewers and listeners. I'll give the example of a lost leader. There was a pet store. Sammy Snacks behind Barracks Road Shopping Center and the Millmont Shops. Matt Fry used to own Sammy Snacks in the Millmont Shops behind Barracks Road Shopping Center. And he would sell Advantix and Frontline at a loss. Literally would lose money on this tick treatment for dogs. But he told me everyone who came in to buy the 6-month or 12-month supply of tick treatment for their dogs, Frontline or Advantix, then left with food or other full price product. It was a loss leader. It got people in the store. The rotisserie chicken at Costco. Another example. The rotisserie chicken at Costco. Look at the history of the rotisserie chicken. They don't raise the price of that because it gets people in the store and they buy other stuff. Is that what the movie theater needs to do? Realize that the tickets, that they're competing with Netflix and Prime and HBO, and just be like, the tickets are $5. Come in and we'll make the money on the booze and the food and the popcorn.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they push like cards, like memberships. Push membership.
There used to be the Movie Pass membership.
Yeah.
That went out of business.
Yeah.
Movie Pass failed.
I mean, I'm guessing that it's just an expensive business because look at you've got the price of movies. I think they've gone up like it's what $13 now.
I mean, it looks like higher.
It was
an adult matinee is $13.
I think it was. The average price was $9 just a year or two ago, and Then you look at popcorn.
So you're saying
Popcorn's
the price of the ticket was before COVID was $9 and now it's $13. We're saying that the price of a ticket.
I don't have the price of what the tickets were specifically at our Regal, but I've found the average price of a movie ticket for the past 25 years. 96, the average was $4.35.
In 1996, it was $4.35.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2021, it was $9.16.
This is nationally.
It just says average.
So we're well ahead of the average.
I don't know. I'm not sure if this is just the U.S. or if this is around the world, but it's an average, isn't it? So.
Carol Thorpe says there's still the occasional film she wants to see in the theater. She says, I'm a classic film buff of the golden age of Hollywood, the 30s through the 70s. She loves Turner Classic Movies on cable. It takes care of most of her needs, but still the occasional classic film I want to see on the big screen that I paid the big bucks for to see on the big screen for the spectacle of the experience. The last was about a year ago when I saw Ben-Hur at Regal for $17. Carol Thorpe, you made us better, $17.
That's why I swear I thought that ticket prices were more expensive recently, and I was surprised to hear that they were like. I was surprised the last time I went there to see that they were like $12 or $13.
Aaron in Scottsville, Aaron King, one of Western Albemarle's finest graduates, says, Avatar, I want to see that in the theater, though, when it comes out. That would not be the same as at home.
Yeah, there are definitely movies that you would be better off watching in the theater, at least the first time you see them.
The technology's improved where that delta is diminished.
I don't think so.
Surround sound, flat screens, 60 inchers, reclining couches, pausing, live streaming, no commercials, drinking beer out of your kegerator behind the couch, your favorite beer, 3-notch Minuteman.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be rich, but...
That's not rich. I'm saying it's the opposite.
I can't afford a reclining couch and a 60-inch screen and
my reclining couch
kegerator
is a decade plus year old,
okay.
And the 2-tap kegerator was a birthday gift from 2 sets of parents.
Fair
Two
enough.
sets of parents. And the 60-inch televisions these days are very much in anyone's wheelhouse. 60-inch TV. What do you think the price of a 60-inch TV is now? What do you think the price of a 60-inch TV? Off the top of your head.
I'm going to say at least $500-$600.
Yeah, $479. That's the point.
Not cheap.
Cheap as all get out. There's a Hisense right now at Best Buy for $400. A 60-inch TV, Hisense, that's 4K, smart TV, as fast as you can buy. It's $400. Come on.
I'm glad you think that's cheap.
$400 for a 60-inch TV is cheap. And the technology's getting cheaper. The technologies are getting cheaper. Kevin Yancey, I'll put my 70-inch with Dolby 3 against any in-person theater experience out there. He also said in Waynesboro the ticket prices are $11.50. Waynesboro, they're $11.50. Charlottesville City, they're $17. That right there is a microcosm of so much.
They were 17. You said yourself that they were 13. And
what is Regal right now on a Friday night? Carol Thorpe, can you help me with that?
Because I definitely would have sworn that 3 years ago, ticket prices were like $16, $17.
She said last year was $17 at Regal. What is a Friday night at Regal in Stonefield right now ticket price? You want to do a little sociological study or anthropological study with the city of Charlottesville and Waynesboro City? Start with ticket prices on movies.
All right.
That will tell you so much on the cost of living. It would be a microcosm on those 2 cities. A microcosm. I'm very curious to know what the Friday night...
I'm checking right now.
And doesn't Regal, because you know better than I do, don't they have is Regal IMAX?
They do have IMAX screenings.
Okay, and those are more expensive, right?
Definitely.
The IMAX screen is more expensive, right? So get the IMAX screen price. Please, sir. Please, sir.
Let's see.
I bet you the IMAX screen price is flirting with $20 a ticket. We got comments coming in. Let's see. Year tickets sold, average ticket price. In 2022, Travis says, man, that's a lot of tickets. There was 854 million plus movie tickets sold at an average price of $917. And he says, Judah Wickower, my first comment was to this point. The problem with large chains for movie theaters is that by and large, the concept of what a movie theater is hasn't changed, just more screens. If these companies like Regal are ever going to survive the streaming era, they're going to have to develop a new business model to include things like dine-in viewing, brew pubs, things that hold customers and things they cannot get sitting at home streaming.
Yeah,
well said.
That's definitely true.
Dude, you know what Regal needs to do?
The problem is that the streaming services are killing both the movie theaters and themselves.
Exactly. Well, you know what they could do? You know what I would do? I'm just spitballing here. This is a businessman and an entrepreneur spitballing on the fly. Literally, this came to me moments ago. Okay. Stonefield Regal Friday night IMAX, $20.75. Just got put on the feed by Travis. That's a freaking boatload of money.
Yeah.
You want to go to Stonefield, to the Regal Theater for a Friday night to watch an IMAX movie? You're dropping $20.75 before taxes. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it in Waynesboro at IMAX, Kevin Yancey?
I'm checking up Zeus now.
Kevin Yancey, give me IMAX Waynesboro. Is that the movie theater in Waynesboro?
Yes.
Friday night, IMAX, Waynesboro, movie ticket price. I want to compare it to Stonefield.
I don't think you can select Friday. You can't select it that far out, but it looks like evening for an adult is $11.50, whereas Regal...
$20.75 for Stonefield.
That's for an IMAX movie.
Vanessa Parkhill, I literally was just going to bring that up. Vanessa Parkhill, you're a smart lady. The movie theaters should pivot their model to live sports in the theaters. You show a football game, the Washington Commanders, a football game, the University of Virginia football team, a basketball game, UVA basketball, in the theater.
Would you go to that?
Hell yeah, I would go.
Really?
To watch in a 300-person movie theater, sit and watch UVA beat up the Virginia Tech Hokies or the North Carolina Tar Heels in a movie theater, IMAX with surround sound, with beer served at your seat, boozy milkshakes at your seat, nachos dripping in gooey cheese at your seat, I would go see that.
All right.
And he says there's no IMAX in Waynesboro. Kevin. No IMAX in Waynesboro. The movie theater should pivot to live sports.
I'm just checking the regular times and the regular movies. So at Zeus, it's $11.50 for an adult in the evening. At Regal, it's $13.55 for an adult in the evening.
The movie theaters can pivot to live sports. That would get people coming. Watching sports with other people around you is more fun than watching sports on the recliner with the two-tap kegerator behind you. When you're watching a movie on the sofa recliner with your wife next to you, you want quiet and you want to focus on the movie. When you're watching UVA beat up the North Carolina Tar Heels or the Virginia Tech Hokies, you want a boisterous, excitable crowd around you. Because watching sports, you go about it differently, human behavior-wise, than watching a movie. You're already seeing the Paramount make that pivot. The Paramount will routinely show Virginia football and UVA men's basketball games at the theater. And they do very, very well with Wahoo fans coming to the Paramount to watch. Very, very well. That's a very realistic pivot for Regal and some of these movie chains. No, I don't think Kevin Yancey. I think ESPN is going to monetize those rights undoubtedly. No doubt that ESPN, the ACC network, the SEC network, the NFL network, Major League Baseball, NBA, they will monetize it. There will be some kind of licensing fee where the leagues and whoever has rights to the content will get money from this partnership. No doubt if they put them in Regal, that Regal would have to pay for that content. No doubt. And Vanessa says, I still remember watching Penn State and Michigan play at Damon's in the Holiday Inn years ago. I loved the Damon Sports Bar. It was at the Holiday Inn on Route 29 between Barracks Road and Stonefield. On the same side of the road as Barracks and Stonefield, there was a dope sports bar called Damon's that had TVs all over it, and you could control the sound at your table. Your table had its own speaker, so you could listen to the sound of a specific game on one of the many TVs on the wall. That spot was awesome, Damon's. And it gets me back to a point I make often on this show. Why is there no legitimate sports bar in Charlottesville or Albemarle County?
Right.
Why? Why is there no hardcore go-to sports bar?
Why is there not a lot of stuff in Charlottesville?
Well, you brought that topic up. You want to go down that road? Let's go down that road.
We
What
don't
you saw
have to
from
right
Reddit.
now, but
Bring it
yeah.
up.
Well, I recently saw in the Charlottesville subreddit the question, what business concept does CVille need? I almost think there are too many to name.
What business concept does CVille need? It's missing a hot chicken joint. It's missing a hardcore sports bar.
Yep.
It's missing, what else is it missing?
24-hour diners.
Well, the Waffle House just closed.
Yeah,
24-hour diners, no go.
Well, there's still one.
What else is it missing?
Somebody mentioned basic neighborhood bars. It says not a student bar, not a sports bar, just a neighborhood bar with
There's neighborhood bars.
Basic beers on tap and cheap liquor drinks. And then somebody else responded with, let me tell you about a little spot called Dirty Nellie's.
Yeah, Dirty Nellie's is a neighborhood bar. That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
But I think they're saying that they're,
Few and far between.
yeah.
What are the neighborhood bars? How many neighborhood bars can you rattle? Dirty Nellie's immediately comes to mind. Fry Spring Station is a neighborhood bar. What are the neighborhood
Fry
bars
Spring
in Charlottesville? Who can name the neighborhood bars? Timberwood Grill, north of town, is a neighborhood bar for Forest Lakes. What are the neighborhood bars in this town? Sincerely, I'm asking that question.
I don't know that there are a whole lot of them.
Who can name a neighborhood bar?
Dirty Nellie's fits the bill. I don't know if any other bar. I wouldn't call Fry Spring Station a neighborhood
Aaron
bar.
King can help answer this question. Aaron, what are the neighborhood bars here? You wouldn't call Fry Spring Station a neighborhood bar?
No, I'd call it a pizza place with that serves alcohol, serves beer.
All right. I'll for the sake of a talk show,
I think the big problem here is the Virginia liquor laws are just make it hard to do anything.
because they have to serve food.
Yeah.
So you can't just be a bar. You also have to master food. And if you don't meet the food booze quota, you get shut down. You lose your license and you're screwed.
Yeah.
That's what makes it challenging. And the liquor laws are bush league and antiquated and outdated.
Yeah.
He's exactly right. I legitimately know of multiple places that are calling cocktails that have fruit in them food.
More power to you.
They're ringing it up as food.
There you go.
Okay? Because they can't meet the quota. Ladies and gentlemen, what are the neighborhood bars in this community? Kevin says Riverside, Big Jim's, and the Brown Derby. Carol Thorpe lived at Damon's on Sundays. Vanessa Parkhill and Carol Thorpe may have interacted with each other and me at Damon's on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Whose kitchen? Interesting. What is a neighborhood bar? Holly's Deli or Beer Run? Lauren says that in Keswick. Holly's Deli is a neighborhood bar. That's a great call. That's a neighborhood bar. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I will say Beer Run's a neighborhood bar.
We went and photographed it when it was a sandwich place, right?
Yeah, that's when it was the Lunchbox.
Is that what it called?
It used to be called the Lunchbox. Isn't that what it used to be called, Lauren or Aaron? Wasn't Holly's Deli used to be the Lunchbox? I'll say Belmont Pizza is a neighborhood bar. You give me Belmont Pizza as a neighborhood bar?
I guess so.
Would you call the Lazy Parrot a neighborhood bar?
Yeah, I think so.
Lazy Parrot, is that a neighborhood bar?
I think it fits.
Double Horseshoe Saloon, would you call that a neighborhood bar?
Definitely, though I've never been inside.
Would you call Firefly a neighborhood bar?
I don't know.
You wouldn't call Firefly a neighborhood bar? Philip Dow, I do the same thing.
guess-
Philip Dow, the king of Scottsville, says he watches his games on the iPhone when I go to restaurants and bars. I do a very similar thing. I bust out the phone. You know what? There are not a lot of neighborhood bars.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
There are not a lot of neighborhood bars.
No, everything is a high concept like this, that, or the other.
Because the
like
rents are so
Firefly.
expensive.
Firefly is, it's got a bar, but it's also got, game stuff. It's got the outdoor, seating, and it's mostly a restaurant.
Can a neighborhood bar even make it or even be considered with how expensive rents are?
I mean,
that's a legit question.
I feel like we're retreading the same ground where everybody is just screwing everyone else over. Like Netflix and all the streamers are screwing the movie theaters, but also each other. Then you've got people, you've got landlords who are charging rents that nobody can afford.
But people continue to pay them.
Yeah, but how
Champion
long?
Grill is closing in Stonefield. I'm already hearing another restaurant's taken over.
Yeah.
If the landlords are asking a price that people are willing to pay, isn't that the price?
Yeah, if you want everything to be Amazon, and I don't.
I don't want everything to be Amazon.
Well, that's what you're going to end up with, because everything is going to get shut down or leave because they can't afford it, and you're going to end up with big box stores taking over everything, and they're going to shut down all their opposition, and eventually you're going to have all these big brand stores doing exactly what Amazon does.
But isn't that just what Charlottesville has turned into? Charlottesville's turned into, and I do this somewhat tongue-in-cheek, we learned this morning on Real Talk with Keith Smith, the median price of a Charlottesville City, the median price of a home sold in the last 60 days is $467,000. $467,000, Charlottesville City.
Yeah.
The landlords are going the way of the demographic of the town.
It's always somebody else's problem until it's not anymore.
Well,
everybody can go out there and say, "Oh, we're just following, everybody else is charging this, so we're going to charge it too."
Well, that's what they're doing.
And then you turn around and it's not Charlottesville anymore. It's Big Box, Central Virginia, and the rest of us are moving out of here because it's a bunch of North Virginia people buying up all the property, and people who, like you say, went to UVA and left for a few years, decided they loved Charlottesville and come back.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
When is it no longer Charlottesville and just a vacation spot for rich people?
Well, a lot of people are saying that's already what it's turned into. A lot of people have said that's already what it's turned into.
Well, then it'll only get worse.
What is the most iconic neighborhood bar in Central Virginia? I would say it's probably Dirty Nelly's.
Iconic?
And tell me what is the difference between a neighborhood bar and a dive bar?
I'd say they're pretty close to the same thing.
Is a dive bar synonymous with neighborhood bar?
Pretty much. I mean, the way this guy puts it, and I pretty much agree, is that he's basically just talking about, like he says, not a student bar, and that doesn't mean that students wouldn't go there. Not a sports bar. That doesn't mean that it wouldn't have a TV that they could pop a game on. But he's saying just a neighborhood bar with basic beers on tap and cheap liquor drinks. Like, you don't go in there and spend like $8 on a 12-ounce beer.
No. I'll say Dirty Nelly's, Lazy Parrot, Belmont Pizza, and Holly's match those descriptions.
Yeah.
Once you get out of the next stratosphere, you're starting to drop some ducats on beers and cocktails.
Yeah.
A couple more topics. We haven't even touched on this topic, and it's already 1:24. Mom and dads watching this program, listen to this. Albemarle County, the public school system, is no longer offering COVID leave for teachers. If you get COVID, or if you got COVID last year, and you had a quarantine last year, the public school system, you could quarantine without eroding your vacation time or your few sick days that you have. Albemarle County has said this coming year, we're not going to offer COVID sick leave anymore. Charlottesville City Schools are offering COVID sick leave.
Gee, I wonder why we need teachers. Gee, I wonder why we need bus drivers.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to work for us.
You know, go on a bus, you take your kid around.
Quite the mystery.
Yeah. You go on a bus, you take your kids around, and you get COVID because you're driving 30, 40 kids in a tin can with poor ventilation, and you get COVID. Use your vacation time.
Yeah, that's...
Use your vacation time, sucker.
Brilliant thinking.
Hey, guess what? We don't have enough teachers to teach the elementary school students. We don't have enough teachers to teach the kids geography or Christopher Columbus and the Nita, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. But you know what we're doing to recruit the teachers? You get COVID teachers, use your vacation time, sucker. Every teacher will interpret it that way, especially with Charlottesville City Schools allowing COVID leave.
It's tone deaf, and the problem is, I think, as may have been mentioned in the article. What do you do if you're a new teacher who has less paid time off, less sick days? What do you do if you already have medical condition, so you're more likely to get hit by something like that, or already be using your paid time off?
You're going to show up to school sick and get every other kid in the classroom sick.
Yeah, I mean,
you're already not paid enough money as a teacher.
I think most teachers are probably a little more responsible than that. But come on, you know, when you're getting hit hard by inflation, and you've already taken all your paid time off, and you get COVID, like, you need to work. You need to make money.
You know where it's going to have the biggest impact is the second semester. Because you take first semester and you take the first part of the second semester, teachers are going to have burnt a lot of their sick days and their vacation time.
Yeah.
That back half of second semester, the fourth quarter, the second semester, when the vacation time and the sick leave is already gone, folks are just going to show up with COVID.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, I'm not showing up to work and earning money. They're just going to show up with COVID.
Yeah.
And we're surprised. Tone deaf is a great description. And we're surprised that we can't keep teachers. We're surprised we can't get bus drivers.
Yeah, I mean,
we're surprised that student enrollment is dropping.
It's like the same in every industry. Every industry is killing itself. I mean, it's not like schools are ever going to go out of business, sadly. But
podcasting is not killing itself, especially the I Love CVille Network.
Well,
that's not killing itself.
People sitting around in the comfort of their own homes and or workplaces and expounding on their expertise in political and cultural and
where are you going
financial matters.
Where are you going with this? You're doing a good job today. Tone deaf. So tone deaf.
Yeah.
The PR, we're in the branding business. The viewers and listeners may not know this. We're an advertising and branding company. We're most known for this network, the I Love CVille Network, because it's so front-facing with the marketplace. But we're a branding and advertising management company. We manage the brands, the social positions, the videography, SEO, photography, graphic design, website design development for a lot of businesses in town. Like somewhere between, I'd have to look at the active roster, 110 and 130 active clients. Okay? We've been doing this for a while. The brand management and the PR, perception is reality from Albemarle County Schools, should be rainbows and roses. It should be, here's the reasons to come work for us. Here's the reasons to send your kid to the school system. This is what we're doing to have success. It should not be the month school starts, hey, teachers, you're not getting COVID leave.
Good luck.
Suck it up and good luck. Because that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Two other items. We'll add the UVA lawn and the range topic to what we learned today, if you want to take that. Okay? Brews on High is for sale.
Yeah.
The Hunter Smith Coffee Shop. We did half a talk show about 60 or 90 days about the potential of a brew through there. Remember? Coffee shop that's partnered with a brewery.
And you were convinced that he was going to be selling beer out of that place.
I was convinced. But in the last...
Maybe that would have saved the place.
In the last week, he's shut down a business. Unceremoniously. Sign on the door, employees didn't know.
Yeah.
Sign on the door.
Dirty.
Employees didn't know.
Yeah.
And now he's got another one on the block from a for sale standpoint that's been in operation for a few months, and that's it. Okay? And this is an established brand, a brand we respect and love, an entrepreneur that has shown some hustle and some affinity for risk taking. Maybe you got a little overextension there that's happening.
I would guess a little is an understatement.
Trying to be nice. You're in a crappy economy. You can't find labor. Costs of goods are volatile. And inflation's a kick in the nuts for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'd almost say that's true, except for the fact that he, it's not like he opened the brew through.
Well, I mean, maybe you don't have the workers.
What?
Maybe you don't have the workers. Maybe you don't have the compensation for the workers.
I don't know, but it's not like he opened it up right before the pandemic and got surprised by everything that came afterwards.
Eventually, and I was having this conversation a few days ago, eventually the idea that everyone can start a brewery and then a big publicly traded company like InBev is going to buy you out and you're going to get 9-figure payday, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
That's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
The craft beer space is beyond saturated. It is beyond saturated.
Yeah.
There are craft breweries everywhere, on every corner of every city.
And a few of them do get lucky.
Stone Brewery just got purchased by Sapporo in a 9-figure deal. I think it was like $165 million.
Yeah.
But those deals are fewer and further between. And the consumer is pivoting to liquor and distillery-made beverages instead of beer more than ever. Look it up. People are drinking liquor and seltzers a lot more than beers now. The market share for craft beer is dropping, and it's dropping fast. There are too many of them. It's what you described in the beginning of the show.
I'm telling you.
Every industry is its own. I was watching. What was Lauren, you're watching the program? I was trying to watch House of the Dragon last night. It's the Game of Thrones prequel.
Yeah.
Did you get into Game of Thrones?
I did, of course. I'm a fantasy nerd.
Okay, so you've seen all the Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I have a hard time with them because of the fantasy element. Is that how you would describe it, fantasy?
Yeah.
What'd you say? You're a what nerd?
Fantasy.
You say fantasy?
Yeah, I'm a fantasy geek.
Is Game of Thrones fantasy?
Totally, yeah, 100%.
Okay. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm more gritty.
You're a sports geek.
I love mafia movies. Crime. Gritty, real.
Everybody geeks out about their own thing.
Everyone has their own thing. I respect that. My wife likes Game of Thrones. Loves it. Just fanatic.
Yeah.
Was so pumped for House of Dragon. I made it through about halfway through the show, and I was like, this is slow. I don't think this is for me. I'm going to try to give it a try again. I'm going to try to give it a try again tonight because I know she wants to watch it. And having a show you can watch as a couple is a good thing.
Scrolling around, seeing a few people mention that they'd already started watching the first episode, and most of what I saw basically said more of the same, except just boring.
It was. I thought it was very boring.
It's very disappointing that that's the case because you want to like something like this.
It's the first show though, so we have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
That's fair.
Okay, so it's called House of the Dragon. It's the prequel to Game of Thrones. It's about 172 years to be exact before Game of Thrones took place, and it highlights the
rise of the
story of the Targaryens.
Yeah,
the Targaryens. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Targaryens.
Yeah.
There was a line in the Targaryen in this episode that resonated with me based on this discussion. the only thing that could kill the House of the Dragon, the Targaryens,
Was itself?
were the Targaryens themselves.
Yeah.
The Targaryens themselves. And it's the theme of this show.
Yeah, we're seeing it everywhere.
Regal is killing itself.
Everybody is tone deaf. They're like,
Netflix is
nobody
killing itself.
Yeah.
The Albemarle County public school system is killing itself. And it's doing it by being tone deaf, by dying the death of 1,000 cuts. Not enough school buses on the road is an issue, but you compound it by not enough teachers dropping enrollment, and you compound it with this no COVID leave for the teachers, and they have to use their It's tone deaf. They're all killing themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. There you go. Philip Dow, the king of Scottsville, says the Tavern is the neighborhood bar in Scottsville, and James River Brewery is also very popular.
Yeah.
Tavern is awesome.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of James River Brewery as well.
Yeah, I like James River
nice
Brewery
little backyard area.
The beer garden.
Yeah.
That place is nice.
Yeah.
All right. What did you learn today? And then we'll get out of here. I got something that I learned today as well.
Yeah. I found this article on UVA finally giving, finally giving...
The lawn and the range air conditioning.
Yeah.
Students at the lawn and the UVA lawn and the UVA range are finally getting air conditioning. I'm torn on this because I am someone that respects tradition and history.
And so you think they should leave the rooms historically hot as hell?
Isn't that the whole point of them? Did you know that the lawn, if you live on the lawn...
Do they have heating?
They have, they do have heating. They have the, what are those things called? If you touch them, they're hot.
Radiators.
They have radiators. Exactly. But did you know that the students in the lawn and the range, they have to walk in a towel or their bathrobe out of their room, down in the lawn and the range into the showers? They don't have showers in their rooms. Adding the air condition to the rooms.
That must get a little...
it's challenging.
Tiresome in the winter.
Dude, when I was going to school at UVA, I'd see fourth years walking down the lawn in their bathrobe in 15-degree weather to go to the shower. No BS. True story.
Oh, man.
True story. Now, they were walking to get ready for class that morning, where I was walking after partying the whole day, and I was coming home. That was the difference. All right, what did I learn today? I learned today that Lake Anna has been called the number one town to buy a vacation home in America. People that own vacation rentals in Lake Anna are earning $80,000 plus a year, $81,293 to be exact, and yearly rental income. That's a cap rate of 12.2%, which is obscene, unheard of. You have a vacation rental in Lake Anna, you're earning on average 82 G's a year in rental income. That is amazing. Amazing. Lake Anna. Okay? And that's what? A hop, skip, and a jump from Charlottesville? How far is Lake Anna from Charlottesville?
Let's see. I had it up on a map.
I mean, less than 2 hours. How far is Lake Anna from Charlottesville?
Oh, it's definitely less than 2
hours.
Less
than 90 minutes? What is it, like an hour and 15 minutes?
It's closer than Richmond.
Depends on what part of Richmond. West side of Richmond, I can get there in like 50 minutes. I can't get to Lake Anna in 50 minutes. I think Lake Anna is about an hour and 10 minutes. Anyway, it's my
It is an hour and 8 minutes.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what we learned today. 80 G's for a rental in Lake Anna. Hour and 8 minutes away. All right, guys, that's today's Fine and Fair Talk Show. Judah Whitcower, you did a great job.
Thank you.
My name is Jerry Miller. This, the I Love CVille Show. So long, everybody. Take care.